taking. Good afternoon and welcome to Missouri Valley College. Greg Mitchell Field, where this afternoon the first round of the national tournament, NAIA men's soccer, featuring the Missouri Valley College Vikings and the Mustangs of Mount Mercy University in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Well, we had a little snow on the ground here. I understand in Cedar Rapids we're talking 7 to 8 inches of snow. What we have are temperatures in the 30s, a bright sky, and very windy conditions, 20 to 25 miles an hour as we get set for soccer this afternoon. The number 3 Missouri Valley College men's team hosting Mount Mercy. Mount Mercy, of course, will be in the Heart of America Conference next year, so they will be common opponents. The Vikings won the postseason conference tournament, defeating Culver Stockton 1-0, then defeating Mid-American Nazarene 3-0, and then an exciting 2-1 double overtime win at Baker University a week ago Friday night. So the Vikings come in as the number 3 seed hosting Mount Mercy. The two coaches are good friends, and as we go along early in this match, we will allow you to listen to both coaches as well. We'll give you the starting lineups. But we are underway, and Mount Mercy working from right to left. That would be the south end of Greg Mitchell to the north, and very windy conditions. So they will be working into a very strong wind here in the first half. The Vikings in their orange tops with the white shorts, and of course the Mustangs, their primary colors are gold and blue, and they are in their blue shorts with the striped gold and blue tops. Again, we'll tell all of you who are watching, and glad you can be with us wherever you're watching today, that we have had some internet problems on campus today, maybe storm related. So we'll keep you on, and hopefully everything will go fine with this video stream of today's match. If not, be patient. We'll get you back on as soon as we can. But just wanted to let you know that before, if something does happen throughout the day. Our technicians have been working on that. In fact, as of 10:30 this morning, we weren't going to have streaming any of this, but they did get us back up. So just wanted to let you know about that as well. The Vikings again in their orange, and the Mustangs in the striped gold and blue jerseys on this very, very windy day. This is just one of 16 matches going on today, and after today, the winners all head to Delray Beach, Florida, and certainly playing in conditions like we have today, it would be a plus for both of those squads. We're just underway, no score. The Vikings trying to get on the attack, but here come the Mustangs. Nice attack by the Mustangs as they work it into the Viking end, and Kovacevic has possession. And as you may see, as they try to move into that 20 to 25 mile an hour breeze. The goalies today, Tomas Seifert, number 99, is in goal for the Mustangs, and the Vikings going with Albert Balcells. Balcells out of Spain. For most of the year, Christos Contomaris was the goaltender, the keeper, but he had a wrist injury. Balcells came in and has really done an excellent job. Ball goes out across the touchline just by the Mustang bench. It'll be a throw-in for the Vikings, and doing that, Luis Nervas. So let's take a look at the starting lineups as we play. The goalie for the Vikings, Albert Balcells, Luke Russell, Tiago Fiera, Jose Montesino, Raul Bonet, who 2 years in a row has been named the Heart of America Conference Offensive Player of the Year. He wears number 10, and he is the leading goal scorer. Mark Heeman, Juan Carlos Harris, who's just a goal behind Bonet, Carlos Munar, and Mark Campbell. And I always mention Luis Nervez. So that is the starting lineup for the Vikings. I mentioned for the Mustangs, Tomas Seifert is in goal. Other starters are Timon Weidman, Eric Fowl, Harris Hadjelik, Philip Kovacevic, Kevon Farquharson is in the starting lineup. Marco Fichtner. Fichtner, 15 goals, is the leading goal scorer for the Mustangs. Baptiste Brockman, Felix Buda, Tomas Seifert is in goal, and also Jamie Booth. So there you have the starting lineups for this contest today. Vikings on the attack, and they get it to Benet. Benet to the middle. He tries to get by a defender. He fires a shot on goal, and Seifert goes down to a knee to stop that one. Good attempt early in this match by Raul Benet, the offensive player of the year for the last 2 years in the conference, but he's unable to connect in a nice play by Seifert. So it'll be a corner for the Vikings. Send it in with the left foot, and it's loose out in front. Now the Vikings still have control of it as Fierro gives it off to the right side to Bascalo. Bascalo fires one through, and this one is sent up, over, and wide by the Vikings. So that was a pretty good chance by Benet in the first 5 minutes of this match. We do have some of the students coming in, everybody all wrapped up on this cold day, but as I mentioned, we don't have the snow that you folks in Cedar Rapids had, that snow band that moved through that part of the country overnight. Well, you can see by that kick by Seifert, that wind just stood that one straight up, so it's going to be difficult for those goalies on those goal kicks. Here's one headed away from in front of the Mustang goal. Vikings trying to keep the pressure on here. At midfield, this one goes out across the touchline behind the Mustang bench. Be a throw in for Valley, and we have a player down for the Mustangs. We'll talk to the coaches in just a moment when play resumes. But looking at a couple of numbers, first of all, for Valley, they have scored 55 goals, given up 21, and not that much different than the Mustangs. The Mustangs have scored 52, given up 23. So both these teams about a 2-1 margin, or a little over two, right around a 2-1 margin in goals scored against their opponents. See who that was who was down. Here comes the throw in by the Vikings. And they'll give it back to Luke Russell. Luke scored the only goal in the quarterfinal, conference tournament quarterfinal win over Culver Stockton. And that was his only goal of the year. Here's Zawanda Heras at midfield. Juan, the Vikings' second leading goal scorer. Winner moves on to the round of 16 in Florida. Battle for possession near midfield. The Vikings have it, and that's Munar. Munar will give it off to Montesino. Montesino loses control of it. Hadzelich for the Mustangs. They'll send it up the left side. Russell keeps it in. Battle for possession, and it did not go across the touchline as Farquharson was able to come up with it. Mustangs attempt a shot on goal. It's blocked by the Vikings. Said this one, is that onside? It is. But racing out toward the front of the 18-yard box is Seifert to grab that one. And he keeps it in play up the right side. This one will go out on the touch line on the far side, so that'll be a throw in for the Mustangs. Very windy conditions today, but as you can see on the live stream, our video stream, that no snow. Had a little snow overnight, but that is all gone now. At midfield, the Vikings try to go on the attack, but this one goes back to Seifert. Boy, you can just even see with that ball going from north to south towards Seifert on this turf how it picked up speed in this wind. So definitely a factor today. Hamid with it. Sends it back to one of his defensemen. He sends this one high into the air, and it almost came back toward him. You put that ball up, it's gonna go if it's from south to north, but if it's the other way around, you're not gonna get much out of it at all. Ball goes out on the far side. I believe it'll be a throw in for the Mustangs. It will be a throw in for Valley. Vikings with it at midfield. Now they send it down to Benet. Benet with some good footwork. In goal again for the Mustangs is Tomas Seifert. Seifert puts the ball down on the turf and it rolls away from him. Very windy conditions today. And Cole, he can't keep the ball. He put the ball down and it rolled back a good 2 or 3 yards, but he's going to send it right to Vladi Simic. Vladi made a nice catch right to the north of the Viking bench. That's how windy it is today. It is tough, those goal kicks. Now the Vikes send it in, working to the right side, trying to get it centered. Was Nervos, but he sends it behind the goal. So goal kick coming for the Mustangs. Seifert again tries it again, sends this one over the Viking bench. There's just nothing you can do. That ball didn't get 30 yards past the goal and just went straight west. That wind's coming out of the north, and this field kind of angles from the northwest to southeast. When you put on that wind, it's not going anywhere. Ferraro keeps it in for the Vikings. Off to Munar. Well, they try to center it, but it's taken away by Hadzelich. Vikings keep it into the end, into the Mustang end. They certainly have the wind advantage in this first half. Battle for possession about 40 yards out on the far side. The Vikings will have it. And that is Munar, Carlos Munar. No score. We've played about 12 minutes now. Here's Fiera. Sends it in. Is that onside? I believe it is. And the Vikings 1-on-3. Here's a shot, and it's good! The Vikings take advantage of that win. And they score. And that is Juan Carlos Harris. He put it up over the top of the keeper, Seifert. And so using the wind, Juan Carlos gets a goal, and the Vikings take a quick 1-0 lead. That comes at the 33-minute mark of the first half. Again, I think that will be a big factor. Well, it obviously is a big factor, is that wind and taking advantage of it. So Valley up 1-0. Valley up 1-0 on the goal by Munar. And now the Mustangs on the attack, and they just have not been able to do much into that wind. And that is going to be part of the process today, I'm sure. Hamid tries to chase that one down, can't do it. It goes across the touchline, so the Vikings throw it in. But Munar with that goal. And checking his statistics, that's goal number 14, so he ties Raul Bonet now for the lead in goals on this Viking squad. And the way Balcells has been playing in goal, he's only given up one goal, really since the conference tournament began. Looking at Balcells' numbers, since taking over for Contomaris, Balcells has given up just 2 goals. He's played in 7 games, started 5, given up just 2 goals. All right, the Mustangs try to get that goal back. Here's a long pass down, and it's going to go all the way to the front of the 18-yard box, handled there by Seifert. Mustangs in their own end. With their defenseman. They'll send it up the right side, send it to the middle, but Luke Russell is right there to head it away. Now Munar sends it back, and Russell with it, just outside the 18-yard box, as the Vikings again go on the attack. Send this one in. Is that going to be onside? It went all the way to Seifert. It may have been onside, but couldn't catch up with it. It went all the way to Seifert. While you watch the action here, I had a chance to visit with Amir Hadzic. He is the coach of this Mustang team in his 21st year. Had a chance to visit with him earlier.
Well, before we start this game, Amir Hadzic joins us, the head coach of the Mustangs. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on getting this team back to the national tournament.
Thank you so much. We've been here in 2011, so it was about a 4-year drought, and we are just excited that we get this opportunity to go at the national scene one more time and playing a great team in Missouri Valley College.
Yeah, next year you'll be in the conference with this bunch, so it's kind of a preview, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it was interesting. I know Coach Ladd really well. We are good friends, and we kind of discussed who we would play, and I said, I have a feeling we'll get somebody from our new conference, and I was hoping for Mid-America Nazarene, to be honest, or Baker, but, you know, draw luck, whatever you want to call it, we play Missouri Valley, and should be a good match. I think we team know each other pretty well, kind of from scouting reports and watching, and then Vlad and I kind of do lots of things together and help each other in scouting reports and stuff like that. So will be just exciting match and great opportunity for both teams.
Tell me, what's the success of this team? What has made you successful this year?
I think the team chemistry was fantastic. We had 3 captains who were leading team in the right direction. You know, we were an independent institution this year for the first time. We didn't have conference, so it was difficult to establish ourselves on a national scene. First of all, it's tough to schedule, you know, enough opponents, quality opponents and stuff like that, especially in October. But we were able to secure the number 2 spot in the rankings for our independent schools tournament down in Atlanta last week, and then we were able to beat Georgia Gwinnett, who is a perennial powerhouse in the last 3-4 years since they joined NAIA on their turf, so, which was good. And then we tied Ashford 1-1 in the finals, and then lost in the penalty kicks.
played in Atlanta. Now you are in a 30-mile-an-hour wind, but we don't have the snow like you have back home in Cedar Rapids, 6.5, 7 inches of snow. But this wind's certainly going to be a factor, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be a factor of the game, and especially on a fast surface such as this field, you know, and turf. It will be even faster today. So, you know, we'll embrace the experience and fights against elements. You know, I think that's what we need to do in order to win the game today.
All right, so there you have the longtime coach, Amir Hadzic of the Mustangs. And, of course, we've been watching play as we had that visit on for you. Here comes a direct kick, free kick, and this one is sent in, knocked away. Vikings send it up the right side. And that one's going to be taken by Hadzelit. 1-0 Vikings with the lead. Stefan Arsenovich, number 19. Gives it off to Fow, and Eric will have the throw in. Now Bonet at midfield sends it over to Munar. The Vikings will work the middle of the field. Down to their left side, leading 1-0. 27 minutes to go in the first half. We'll have some comments from Vladimir Simic coming up as well. There's a header that goes wide right. Really starting to have a pretty good crowd of students from Missouri Valley, bundled up, sitting down below us to our right. Going to be a throw in for the Vikings. And they throw it in. And this one is sent out. So it'll be a corner kick for the Vikings. As this one goes out past the goal line, touched by one of the Vikings, or one of the Mustangs. So the Vikings will get a corner kick from the right side. Center to the left foot. It's out in front. And still loose. Ooh, and that was a pretty good attempt by the Vikings. A good chance, and didn't get much on that one. And Seifert able to make the save. So here come the Mustangs again. Trailing 1-0. Munar getting possession of that, sends it to his right side. Off to Bascalo. The winning goal, by the way, in the double overtime one at Baker was scored by Rafael Alcaraz with 35 seconds to go in the double overtime to give the Vikings the conference tournament. They were the second seed. Bascalo slides, gets with his left foot, but can't do anything with it. Now Montesino on the far side keeps it in play. Vikings up 1-0. 25 minutes to go in this first half. There's a trip. So the Mustangs will keep possession. Send this one in on the right side. Campbell battling for it. He's one of the defensemen for the Vikings. This goes out across the touchline on the far side. So the Mustangs keep it in play. From the right side, trying to hear, close. Here's a shot, and that goes just wide left. Oh, man. Oh, did the Mustangs ever have a great chance to tie this one up? A good centering pass, and the shot went just wide left. I think that was Zuccarello. Wow. I mean, that left side, that far end of the net was wide open. And he missed it. Shot it wide left. So the Mustangs. That would have been a big tying goal going into that win, I guarantee you. Felix Buda had possession. Good move by Fierro to keep it alive. Ball still in play by the Viking bench, and now it goes out. And that'll be a throw in for Valley. Doing that will be Nervas. 1-0 Vikings lead. We're in the first half, 23-27 to go in it. And thanks to our IT department, we were having odd throughout campus internet problems this morning, but got us back on, and hopefully everything will hold up for us this afternoon. "23 minutes to go in the first half. At midfield, Munar had the left foot on it. That was taken away from him by one of the Mustangs. While we play, let's get a couple comments from Vlade Simic. Had a chance to visit with him before the match.
Vlade Simic joins us before this match. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on making it again to the national tournament. It's quite an honor, quite an honor for this team.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a great season so far. I mean, they played really good through the year, so I guess pays-offs at the end.
Well, you schedule every year for this time of year, don't you?
I mean, that's our goal, you know, to get to this point and play as best as possible at this time of the year. So hopefully we are ready to do it today.
You went through the conference tournament, won all three, exciting 2-1 win and double overtime at Baker. That had to be fun.
It's been a great week or past few days or so. So great games.
Now Bob Mercy's here. You and Amir are pretty good buddies. You probably know their system as well as he knows yours, right?
I'm sure. I mean, we know each other for a long time, and it's going to be an interesting game. Like I said, they're a pretty good team. Tough luck that we are playing each other, but, you know, this is what it is, and we'll have to face them today and play our best game.
What concerns you about this weather? Obviously, this wind, 25, 30 miles an hour.
I mean, wind is a concern, especially for soccer, but, you know, we'll try to put that ball on the ground and move the ball on the ground as much as we can and avoid those long balls, but, you know.
What do you tell your team about? You tell them to forget this weather? It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to do, but the main focus is on our play and how we keep the ball and how we shoot the ball. So, I mean, they have to ignore everything. I mean, that was a pre-game, you know, talk. Ignore the weather, ignore everything else. Just focus on yourself and your team. So,
I know when you set your goals for the year, this is one of them to get here, and obviously another goal to get past this one and get to the beach in Florida.
I mean, that's a goal, obviously, and if we play and perform our best today, then we can talk about it. So hopefully we do it.
All right, Vlad, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so there you've heard from both coaches, and they're good friends. Vlade Simic has done a wonderful job here. I mentioned Amir Hadzik as the Mustangs chased that one down. Farku Hassan in the far corner sends it out in front. It's going to be knocked away by the Vikings. Amir Hadzik, as you folks who follow the Mustangs know, also coaches Cedar Rapids Xavier High School, and he has led the Saints to several state championships, a 6-time Metro Coach of the Year, and has done a fantastic job with this program as well. Amir Hadzik in his 21st year with the Mustangs. 21 minutes to go in the first half. Still 1-0 as you watch this first round game. Coach Hadzik's record in his 21st year is 179, 187, and 33. And as I mentioned, also head coach at Xavier High School in Cedar Rapids, so stays very busy. Back to the middle, and here's Munar, and sends one. He had that wind behind him. He let fly with the left foot. Goes well wide to the left. So the Mustangs, who had just a great opportunity a few minutes ago to tie this match, couldn't do it. They're working into a very stiff breeze. At midfield, battle for possession of it. Here come the Vikings, and now be a foul on the Mustangs. I believe that is going to be on Kovacevic. So free kick coming here for the Vikings. If they could, the ball will stay on the turf. Vikings working the left side. Send one in, headed away. They keep it in play, or do they? No, it goes out. And cross the goal line. Last touch by the Mustangs, so the Vikes will get a corner kick. On the far corner from us. And they'll send it with the right foot. And this one out in front, headed toward the goal, but knocked away by one of the defenders. Referee trying to get out of the way of play. Here come the Mustangs on the attack. Working the right side, and this one will go wide right. Then that should be, I believe, a corner kick. It will be. Knocked out by the Vikings. So Fichtner, Marco Fichtner, the leading scorer. That hit the post. Marco Fichtner will send it in from the corner. It's headed away by the Vikings. Wow, I didn't realize it was that close. Without a replay, that last one hit the post, the near post. So the Mustangs have had a couple of good opportunities here. Just out in front of the 18-yard box. The Mustangs will set it up. Down to 17:45 to go in the first half. Eric foul by the Viking bench. Ooh, that one goes right off of Fierro. Battle for possession right in front of the Viking bench. Vikes keep it in, and that is Biscallo. And this one rolls into the 18-yard box where it's handled easily by Seifert. We talked about Amir. How about Vlade Simic? Now in his 13th year as the head coach of these Vikings. His record as of today is 143, 82, and 23. That's quite a record. Drew Hawkins, his 9th year. He's the women's coach, but also the assistant men's coach. Vlade Simic, this team no stranger to national tournaments. And they went through the conference tournament, winning 1-0, 3-0, and then that exciting win in Baldwin City over Baker, 2-1. So two excellent coaches, two excellent programs, and of course the Mustangs will be in the Missouri, or in the Heart of America Conference. Good sliding stop by Seifert as he came out on the left side. The Mustangs were in the Midwest Collegiate Conference, as you heard Amir say on his interview. This last year, the Association of Independent Institutions, and it's kind of tough to schedule when you're an independent, but they placed second there to get their berth into the national tournament. And next year, of course, they'll be in the Heart of America Conference with Missouri Valley. We certainly welcome Mount Mercy and all the sports that they'll be participating in the Heart of America Conference. They will not have football, at least to start with, but they will, at least are thinking about starting, I believe, by 2018. Albert Balcells in goal for the Vikings, wears number 1, and Thomas Seifert, number 99, in goal for the Mustangs. 1-0, Vikings with the lead. On the goal by Juan Carlos Harris. This one goes across the, out on the far side. And Vikings have a player down. That's Raul Benet. Raul, of course, now he and Harris both have 14 goals to lead the Vikings, but he has been named the Offensive Player of the Year for 2 years running in the Heart of America Conference, and he is down right now on the far side. 14:41, clock is stopped here in the first half. The winner gets a nice little trip to the beaches of Florida for the round of 16. It's almost like Raul is cramped up, but getting cramps in weather like this, okay.
I think it's on the play in. Here it is. Replay.
We'll take a look at the replay to see what happened to Raul. He is back up, as you can see on the replay. Oh, he took a pretty good shot. Yeah, pretty good shot in front of the goal. He took a shot to the head, and he's up and staying in the action. And as you watch this, we'll thank Chaz Matty directing, and also Tyrone Ritter and Alexis McMillian working cameras today, and less than ideal conditions to bring you this video of this first round game. Coming in for the Vikings now is Emzolo. This is my Emzolo. And he will check in. He's the first substitute the Vikings have had today. Vlade Simic down in front of the bench wearing a suit today. Well, he does have his heavy top coat on, but wearing a suit for this first round national game. And Bascalo came out as Emzolo came into the action. Looks like the Vikes will get a free kick here. And sent it with the right foot. It's headed toward and now headed away. Mustang's doing a pretty good job. Now he goes out. So it'll be a throw in for Valley. 13:34 and counting first half. 1-0 Vikings leading in this first round of the national tournament. From Greg Mitchell Field on the campus of Missouri Valley College in Marshall, Missouri. Mustangs sent any of you folks who may be watching in Iowa or other parts of the country around the world. Marshall about an hour to the east of Kansas City, right along I-70, just north of I-70. I believe it'll be a free kick for the Mustangs. And they'll send it over to their left side to Fow, Eric Fow. Vikings trying to keep the pressure on. Again, they have this very strong breeze at their back. They would like to be able to use that. You can really see when the ball gets up into the air. Here's Emzolo to Benet. Back to Emzolo. Emzolo at midfield, circling around as he dribbles the ball. And this goes across the touchline right in front of the Viking bench. It'll be a throw in for the Mustangs. At midfield, Vikings controlling possession. That's Nervas. Well, you see when that ball gets up in the air, it just, if you're going from the south to the north, it just stops. There's one sent all the way down by the Vikings, and that'll be handled by Seifert. Seifert wearing a purple jersey in goal for the Mustangs. Baptiste Brockman handled it for the Mustangs as they bring it to the middle of the field. Hodzelich. Now they work it up, trying to get it into the possession of Arsenovic. But whistle, it'll be Viking possession. Vikes work their right side. Off to Benet. Benet centers it, knocked away. Benet gets it back. Dribbles it, and then sends it back to Munar, who gives it to Montesino. Now the Mustangs take it away. The Mustangs on the attack up their right side, but it's sent out on the far side. Throw in coming for the Mustangs. With 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. A 1-0 Vikings lead, first round national tournament game match. And we'll talk about the other matches as we go along here that are being played today. A lot of sports in NAIA. Football, first round playoffs. Volleyball going on today. Women's soccer, men's soccer. Well, that thing stayed inside the boundaries on the far side. I thought it'd go out, but it didn't. So here's Brockman, who gives it to the left side to Eric Fowl. Fowl can't control it. Back to midfield, where it's handled by Montesino. He'll send it back to Russell. Russell to Montesino. By the way, a little later on today, started about 20 minutes or so on our audio connection, Stretch Internet. The basketball teams are playing in Lamoni, Iowa against the Graceland Yellow Jackets today. Joe All will have the call of those games, audio only. That'll be from Lamoni. Here come the Vikings. Oh, that one rolls very close to the corner. Emzolo got a foot on it. Seifert came out, and it rolled past him, and that ball it was just rolling toward the left post, and one of the defensemen was able to get over and knock it away just before it rolled across. Wow, rolled in. Oh, would that have been something? Seifert was lying on the turf. Emzolo almost had one. He just couldn't get enough on it to get it past it. He gave the defenseman time to come up with it. 8:35 to go, still 1-0 Valley. Boy, that was a big chance there for Valley to go up 2-0 in this first round national tournament match. Sends this one, and it's headed all the way back to Seifert. The Vikings have the one goal off the foot of Juan Carlos Harris to lead 1-0. 7:56 to go in this first half. This one blocked, goes across the touchline. So throw in coming here for the Vikings. As you take a look on the replay, Emzolo just got a foot on it. It rolled past Seifert, and it looked like, I believe that was Kovacevic, who was able to scramble back there and knock that one away. Oh, would that have been a great chance? And Kovacevic saved a goal. We're down to the 7-minute mark of this first half. Now on the attack is Farquharson. Kevon Farquharson. Now the Vikings have it. That's Gispert. They'll send to the left side. Keep it in play. I'll try to bring it back to Gispert. Gispert sends it over the top of one of the Mustangs, but it's defensed rather easily. And now here's Felix Buda. Back to Seifert, back to Buda. Vikings keeping it in the Mustang end. 6 minutes to go. Now taken away by Valley as they come on the attack. But they got a foot on it but couldn't do anything with it. And that would have been wide right. Handled by Seifert. This one goes out near midfield. It'll be a throw in for the Mustangs. And doing that will be Eric Fowl. Now play stopped. I think they had a foul called on the Mustangs. The Vikings will get possession. Just made a bad throw in. Is that all it was? I was looking down. So the Vikings get it on the throw in. They bring it in again. It's tough conditions out there. Munar keeps it alive with 5 minutes to go in the half. 1-0 Vikings in this first round national tournament game. Vikings want to keep it in the zone. Here's Heeman on the far side. He does keep it in play. Good hustle. Tries to get it to Memzola, Bonet, but neither one could come up with it. They'll send it all the way back to Seifert. Mustangs working into this very strong breeze here in the first half. Trailing just 1-0. And again, there you can see if that ball gets up in the air, it just goes nowhere when you're going from the south to north, which, as you look at your monitor, would be from right to left. Far side, it goes across the touchline. Throw in for the Mustangs. And the Vikings let this one go out, Mark Heeman. So he'll have the throw in. And he gives it off now to Munar. Taken away briefly by the Mustangs. And they're going to whistle a foul on the Mustangs for tripping. I don't think Marco Fichtner quite agrees with that. As you can see, on the far side, there was a trip. And the linesman made the call immediately. So free kick coming for the Vikings. And with that win, he sent that one all the way down. Had that been going the other way, probably 25 yards would have been about most you're going to get out of that. Now I think a foul on the Vikings. So free kick coming for the Mustangs from about midfield, and we're down to 3 minutes to go in the half. We'll take a break at the half, and of course have all the action in the second half for you. The winner heads to Florida. Some nice warm weather. Both teams have those salamander type heaters behind their benches. Here's one sent in, headed away by the Vikings. I would think if you're the Mustang, let's see, if this pass onside, it is going to be onside for Valley as they'll send one in, and a diving stop by Seifert. Juan Carlos Harris already has one goal. He sent that one to the left foot, and a diving stop by Seifert. On that low line shot headed toward the right side of the goal, and he dove to his left and made a nice save. Two minutes to go in the half. Vikings working that possession. Bring it back to Bonet. Bonet dribbling about 30 yards out. Now to Munar. He can't get, or rather Harris, he can't get it through a couple defensemen. Now to a minute 40 to go in the half. And it stays in. It looked like Munar was wanting to let that one go out, but it stayed in play. Now it's going to be a throw-in coming for the Mustangs. The Vikings didn't like that. A minute 20 to go, first half. Munar arguing, but to no avail. So the throw-in from Hadzelich. Or excuse me, it's going to be a direct free kick. Yeah, it's going to be a free kick. Not a throw-in, it never went out. It's going to be a free kick for Hadzelich. Down to 51 seconds. Well, I was right. No, it's going to be a kick. He picked it up. The ball moves, so he picks it up, puts it back down. And finally, with 43 seconds to go, he sends it in play. and sends it toward Balcells, who goes up and grabs it. Balcells, with the wind at his back, will send this one all the way down into the Mustang end. We're down to 20 seconds to go in the half. A decent crowd here today, considering the conditions. Halftime, we'll try to get you updated on some scores as well. Here's his shot, Balcells. Right there, he'll just go to the turf. The shot was taken by Kovacevic, and that's going to do it for really an entertaining first half, as the Vikings get the one goal from Juan Carlos Harris. And that was it, and that was with the wind at the back of the Vikings. So in the second half, we'll change, and the Mustangs will have that very strong breeze at their back. 1-0, Vikings have the lead, and we'll be back with the second half. We are ready to go with the second half. 1-0 Vikings lead. The only goal scored by Juan Carlos Harris as we get set for the second half. And now the Mustangs have this very strong wind. And the wind is more out of a northeast than anything else. Kind of swirling, but more of a northeasterly direction. So they would have the advantage of that as we get set for the second half. 1-0, the only goal, Juan Carlos Harris. Winner goes on to the Nationals in Delray Beach, Florida, November 30th through December the 5th. And right off the bat, the Vikings score. We're not even seconds into the second half, and the Vikings get a goal. Wow. I believe, I'll check, I think it was Antonio Gispert who got the goal. I mean, the Vikings just got started on the very first possession. And, folks, we're 13 seconds into the second half. I'm going to go check and make sure that was the goal was by Gispert. It happened so quickly, a 2-on-1. They stayed onside, and Gispert drilled it in the upper left corner. We're going to go check and make sure we know who that goal was, who scored that goal. "13 seconds in, the goal goes to Juan Carlos Harris, his second goal of the match. Now, he is the leading goal scorer for the Vikings this year. As Juan Carlos sent it in 13 seconds into the second half. Wow. You don't see that very often. Kind of caught all of us by surprise, just kind of settling in for the second half, and boom, into that strong breeze. That was a big goal. Harris with his second goal of the contest. Here comes Emzolo working the left side. Well, now the Mustangs really have some work to do. For Juan Carlos, that's goal number 15. He becomes lead goal scorer. Now Emzolo's open. He will score! Wow! Emzolo got by the defense, and he put it in with the left foot, and just like that, it is 3-0. Less than 2 minutes into the second half, 2 goals. The first one by Juan Carlos Harris, 13 seconds in, and this one by Emzolo. Wow. And both of these goals into that strong breeze. Emzolo, that is his third goal of the year. He is out of Johannesburg, South Africa. So really, the Mustangs have to be almost in shock. They were down 1-0 thinking, okay, we have this wind at our back the second half. 13 seconds in, a goal by Harris, his second, and then moments later, less than 2 minutes later, another goal. This one by Emzolo, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead with 42:53 to go. Wow. Not impossible for the Mustangs to come back, but they got to go to work in a hurry now. Mark Campbell to Russell. Russell fires one down the right side. It gets up into that breeze. Pretty much just stops that ball. But right now, well, the Vikings with that big cushion. 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of the second half. to go up 3-0. We'll try to get you some other scores as we go along this afternoon as well. Ball goes across the touchline by the Mustang bench. There'll be a throw in. Heeman, they threw it in. Heeman quickly knocked that away. Mustangs send this one down. It's headed away by the Vikings. They'll keep it in play. Boy, it's don't see that very often. 2 goals scored that quickly in a half. And one of them by number 13, Amzolo, who just sent it back to Luke Russell. Well, the Vikings at midfield. Now they work it to their right side. A couple of breakdowns in defense have cost the Mustangs a couple of goals here. That one by Amzolo, or the first one, both of them. I mean, basically wide open, no defense at all between the goalie Seifert and the Viking attacker. 40 minutes to go in this one, and the Vikings have a comfortable 3-goal lead. Give this one back to Mark Campbell. Campbell off to Juan Carlos, who has 2 goals already today. Now to Bonet. Raul with a nice spin move. Dribbles the ball about 40 yards out. Here come the Vikes on the attack again. Heeman on the left side. Keeps it in play. Gets by a defender with some nice footwork. Sends it to the middle, and Bonet can't come up with it. But the Vikes do keep it in. Once again to Heeman. Heeman left side. Tries to fire this one, and it's knocked away by Hadzelich. I don't think we have any scores in yet. We'll check. From the national tournament today. Football games going on involving some of our conference schools as well. But no scores from today. The game at Baker started at noon. The game at Grandview started at noon. I heard Grandview was ahead 10-0 at one time, but we'll try to get those scores for you as we go along today. But here it's 3-0 Valley with 39 minutes to go in the first round of the national tournament. All 16 winners today head to Florida, Delray Beach, November 30th through December the 5th. Send this one back to Seifert. Here are the other pairings today as we watch the action. Bethel, Tennessee at number 1 Rio Grande, Ohio. Lyon, Arkansas is at number 16 Union. That's Union, Kentucky. Southeastern Florida at number 9 Cumberland, Tennessee. Send it back to Ball Cells. Indiana Wesleyan at number 8 Lindsey Wilson. Concordia, Nebraska is at number 5 Oklahoma Wesleyan. Marymount, California is at number 12 Rocky Mountain, Montana. Corbin, Oregon hosting Biola, California today. Of course, this match, number 4 Missouri Valley hosting Mount Mercy out of Cedar Rapids. That's the one you're watching. Purdue, Calumet, Indiana, number 2 Davenport, Michigan. West Virginia University Tech at number 15 Campbellsville, Kentucky. Those are some of the first round matches as the Vikings bring the ball to mid-near field. Roosevelt, Illinois at number 10 Mid-America Nazarene. That's a Heart of America Conference team. And Olathe, Kansas hosting a game today as Bonet gets the ball to Harris. Tries to get it back. Can't, but the Vikings have possession at midfield. Great Falls, Montana, number 7, Vanguard, California. Lindenwood, Belleville out of the St. Louis area at number 6, Northwestern Ohio. Belleville, Nebraska, at number 11, Science and Arts of Oklahoma. That's been the team that's been here the last couple of years for first round. Ashford, Iowa, that's the team that Mount Mercy tied 1-1 in the Independent League game. They're at number 4, Columbia, Missouri, which is about 50 miles from here, down I-70. And finally, Wiley, Texas at number 3, Baker, another Heart of America Conference team. Baker was the number 1 seed going into the postseason tournament, and Valley won and Baldwin City, which is about 50 miles from Kansas City, and they won there by the score of 2-1. The Vikings did. Vlade Simic not happy with the referee's call. Now he's going to talk to one of the linesmen about it. Okay, one of his players may have taken an elbow, and Vlade didn't like that, and he was out complaining about it. He and Drew Hawkins on the sideline. Also, Ivan Ninkoff, who played for Vlade Simic here at Valley, also on that sideline. It's 3-0, 35 minutes to go. The winners of all games today go to Delray Beach, Florida. And right now, the Vikings in pretty good shape. Back to the action as you've been watching on live stream. And once again, Chaz Maddie, Tyrone Ritter, and Alexis McMillian bringing you all the video today. And this one goes across the touchline in front of the Mustang bench, so a throw in for the Vikings will get it in quickly. As Campbell gives it back to Russell. 35 minutes to go. Valley up 3-0. Wanting a return trip to Florida in the round of 16 in the national tournament. And they're well on their way unless the Mustangs can mount quite a comeback, which they would need. Here's Weidman. Sends it in deep, and this one headed away, but wide right. Campbell was back there as well. Sho Takaoka comes in. He's from Japan. He comes in for the first time for the Mustangs. Takaoka. Where's number 8? Here is the ball in front of the Viking net. It's knocked away by one of the defenders. Good job. Boy, that thing was there for a while. Good move by Hadzelich. As they'll keep it alive, send it in front, and that one sails in front of Ball Sells and then goes out across the goal line. So Ball Sells gives it off to Luke Russell. Again, 3-0. Vikings with a lead. And time, well, not running out quite yet, but the Mustangs need to get something going if they want to hang around. They've had an excellent season. Again, next year they will be a part of this Heart of America Conference, and boy, will that make this conference even tougher. Here comes Bonet on the left side, gets by one defender. He dribbles it, gives it to the mid inside, and Emzolo could not catch up with that one, or he may have had another good opportunity to score. Give it back to Seifert. And this goes across the touchline on the far side. Throw in for the Vikings. Leading 3-0 here at home. Nice, bright, sunny day, but temperatures in the 30s and strong north winds. But again, we did not get all the snow as you folks had in Iowa. Some of you are watching there today. Mustangs trying to force the issue a little bit here. Still in their own end, and the Vikings are going to try to keep them there. Munar at midfield battling for possession. And they're going to give it to the Vikings. So the Vikes have it, leading 3-0, and no hurry now. 32 minutes to go. Clock's certainly their ally. Boy, 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of the second half. The first goal in 13 seconds. And then less than 2 minutes later, another one to give them a nice cushion. And how about the play to this point of Balcells in goal? As I mentioned, Christo Cotomeris with a wrist injury, and he started the year as the goaltender. Now Jamiser Minthor comes in, number 22 for the Mustangs. And one of the Mustangs is down. If he had stepped on, he might have had his hand stepped on. I'm not sure. And we can see it going down the sideline. On the right sideline, as he slid, he's either kicked unintentionally or by Russell or hand stepped on or something there. So that stops the clock. 31 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this one. Again, we have no other scores to report today. Basketball this afternoon. In fact, the women's game underway from Lamoni. Graceland, Joe All calling that for you on Stretch Internet. You can get the audio of that today. Marco Fichtner stands down below us. Number 23. He is the leading goal scorer for the Mustangs. I was going to talk about Balcells. As this one headed away right to Bonet. What a job he has done since taking over. When Miramontes or Contreras hurt that wrist. As he picks this one up, his stats, he started 5 games, played in 7, given up just 2 goals. Just 2 goals in those 7, so he has done an excellent job. Viking possession. Send it up to Heyman. Mark Heyman out of Newcastle, England. Up the left side. Kept in play by Mzolo. Vikings want that clock to run now. We are at the 30-minute mark. Faku Harson for the Mustangs. And let's see. Faku Harson. And who else was out there? Was it Gisbert? Had a few words for each other. And the referee talks to both of them. That stops the clock. 30 minutes, 11 seconds to go. Be a free kick for the Mustangs. And fire this one on and high and wide right. Balcells was hugging the left side of the goal as that ball sailed over his head. So goal kick for Balcells. And as he puts that one up into the breeze, it comes to literally a standstill and almost backs up. Kovacevic trying to maintain control of that one. There'll be another free kick for the Mustangs. And they'll send this one in. It's knocked away. But the Mustangs still with possession of it. And they'll send this one in. Ball sails, goes to a knee, and it goes in. Will it count or not? I don't think it's going to count. As ball sails went down to a knee. No goal. No goal, even though it rolled in. And there was contact there and a foul, so had no argument from the Mount Mercy bench. So still 3-0, 28.5 minutes to go. Remember, the second goal scored against Mid-American Nazarene in the semifinals of the conference tournament was played here. There was contact on a goal by the Vikings, and Mid-America thought there should have been a foul and disallowed the goal, but that was not the case that night. Ball across the touchline on the far side of the field, so it'll be a throw in for the Mustangs, who need some offense in a hurry. Ike Sturmite comes in, as does Marco Godeverica. Marco wears number 17. And Sturmite wears number 18. Here's Mzolo. Sends it back to Munar. Only 27 minutes remaining. Mustangs have had an excellent season, so have the Vikings. You make the national tournament. But you talk about the Heart of America Conference. You have next year, and I'm not that familiar with Grandview's soccer program or William Penn's, but I know this Mount Mercy team obviously going to add to the mix. Here's Zolo racing up the left side. It's 1-on-1. He uses his speed to try to get by a defender and can't do it. But you add this Mount Mercy in with Baker and Valley and Mid-American Nazarene. Graceland usually has a good club. Culver Stockton has a decent club. This is no doubt one of the best in NAIA as far as soccer, both men's and women's. The Heart of America Conference, and we'll welcome Mount Mercy in many sports next year. We'll send this one back to ball cells. 26 minutes to go. And the Vikings in pretty good shape now for a repeat to Florida in the second round of the national tournament. This is going to be onside. Here's a try to get it to Benet from Harris, and it hit a defender. I thought for a moment Harris was going to take the shot, try for the hat trick. He already has 2 of the 3 goals. Here's Benet. Keeps it in right along that goal line. Now works it back to Heeman. Heeman dribbling the ball. And he goes down. It'll still be Viking possession. Booker Harson's going to come back in. And Andre Vacuna. Vacuna will come in. Here's a shot. And this one is knocked down by Seifert. But the Vikings keeping the pressure on here and not allowing the Mustangs to mount much of an attack. And they need 3 goals to tie. Headed away by the Valley defenders. Now up the right side. Valley will keep it in play. Keep that clock moving. Send this one all the way down. And coming way out of goal and bumping it away was Seifert. And now he is down. And I believe that is Harris who's down as well. Seifert was he's a good 10 yards outside the 18-yard box when he came out and tried to put his shoulder into that one. And as he went up for it, he ran into Juan Carlos Harris. 24:37 to go. And Valley up 3-0. In football today, American football, here are the pairings. St. Xavier, Illinois at Morningside. Point Georgia at Baker. That game started at noon, so we should get an update on that one. Lindsey Wilson, Kentucky at Grandview, Iowa, Des Moines. Heard that the Vikings were leading that one 10-0. Reinhardt, Georgia, St. Francis, Indiana. Dickinson State, North Dakota at Montana Tech. Campbellsville, Kentucky at Marion. Kansas Wesleyan at Southern Oregon. And Doane, Nebraska at Tabor, Kansas. Those are the games in the round of 16 in NAIA football. The championship game will be played December 19th in Daytona Beach, Florida. So two teams from the Heart of America Conference involved there, Baker and Grandview. Those teams met in the first game of the season in Des Moines, and Baker won that game. Now pass over to the right, back to the middle, and it's knocked away by the Vikings. Mzolo. Nice footwork. Munar sends it back, and Campbell lets it go all the way back to Ball Cells. 23.5 minutes away from a trip to Florida for the Missouri Valley College Viking men's soccer team. And they're up 3-0. Two of those goals by Juan Carlos Harris. The other by Mzolo. Gispert. Antonio tries to slip a pass through the defense. Can't do it. Now on the attack come the Mustangs. They only have 23 minutes remaining to get 3 goals just to tie this thing. Coming in for Valley, Rafael Alcaraz. He scored the winner with 35 seconds to go in double overtime at Baker in the postseason conference tournament championship game. Coming out for the Vikings, Juan Carlos Harris. 2 goals for Juan Carlos today. He has a 1-goal lead now over Bonet if you're keeping track in the goals race for the Vikings. And I'm sure they're both happy to continue that that quest for first in that category in Florida, November 30th. Mzolo off to Alcaraz. Can't slip it through a defender. The Vikings keeping the pressure on the Mustangs, and the clock continues to wind. 22 minutes remaining. Luke Russell sends it over to his right side, and that's where Luis Nervaz is. Leo Driscoll getting ready to come in for Valley. Where's number 4? As this across the touchline right by the Mustang bench. And the head coach, Amir Hadzic, picks it up and gives it to Mark Heeman. Enjoyed talking to Amir before the game. Very nice gentleman. He and Vlade Simic, the Viking coach, worked together a lot. And it'll be nice to have this team in the conference. Maybe not so much making the road trip, but to have him as competition. Ooh, Driscoll just checked in. First 2 minutes he's in, he rudely greets Marco Flickner, kind of tosses him to the turf. Acuna. Well, the Vikings have it. And there's a trip as Farku Harson tries to get through traffic, so he'll have a free kick. About 40 yards out. Clock moving, 20 minutes to go. So barring some kind of an unbelievable comeback by the Mustangs, it looks like the Vikings are going to be headed to Florida again. But we'll see. They try to send this one in, and it got up in that breeze. It started off to the center of the goal. Of course, the goal 24 feet wide. Start off the center. It ends up a good 20 feet right of the goal. A shot by Fichtner, who's their leading scorer. By far, I believe Fichtner has 15 goals to lead their squad. But so far, Ball Cells and the Viking defense have shut out these Mustangs, who scored well over 50 goals in a regular season. It's a long pass, knocked away by Valley again. Now here's Bonet. Raul through a double team. Gets it off to his right, but turned around was Alcaraz, and he tried to turn around to find that. Almost, it stumbled a little bit, and the ball went by him. So here come the Mustangs. They have 19 minutes remaining in this one, and possibly in their season. Mustangs have had an excellent year, 15-4-1. And the Vikings want to keep their season going in Florida. And they're in pretty good shape with 18.5 minutes left and a 3-goal lead. Women's soccer also going on today. The first round games. The Viking women missed really just by about 2 teams of getting into that field. Here's the throw in by the Mustangs. Now the Vikings take charge. But a spin move and sends it up the left side, but there'll be a foul. Point Park, Pennsylvania, Lindsey Wilson today. For the women, Our Lady of the Lake, Texas at Kansas Wesleyan. Park, Missouri is at Grace, Indiana. Embry-Riddle, Arizona at Westmont, California. Veolia, California at Eastern Oregon. Ashford, Iowa at Campbellsville, Kentucky. Trinity International will be at Benedictine, a Heart of America Conference team, in Atchison, Kansas today. Morningside, Iowa at Northwestern Ohio. St. Ambrose, Iowa at Hastings, Nebraska. Reinhardt, Georgia at Kaiser, Florida. Science and Arts of Oklahoma at Martin Methodist, Tennessee. Carroll, Montana at Spring Harbor. Odd that Carroll's not in the football playoffs this year. They're there in women's soccer. Baker hosting Peterborough, Wisconsin. Columbia, Missouri at Vanguard, California. Nice long trip for the Cougars. And Georgia Gwinnett will be at William Carey, Mississippi today. The women, winners of today's round, head to Orange Beach, Alabama, November 30th through December the 5th. We're down to 17.5 minutes. Throw in coming for the Mustangs on the far side. And they need some offense. Ball Cells has been tremendous in goals since taking over after the injury to Contomaris. And he's given up just a couple of goals, and he's working on another shutout here. Give up only 1 goal in the conference tournament. There's a trip. 17 minutes to go. So it'll be a free kick for the Mustangs. Marco Fichtner will do that. Fichtner, their leading scorer. Where's number 23? Clock is stopped at 16:56. And he'll send this one hooking to the middle. There's the header, and going up to get it was Ball Cells. The best chance the Mustangs had all day came early in this match. They had a good 2-on-1 and really missed an open net. And since then, they have had a tough time trying to find scoring opportunities. And those 2 goals by the Vikings in the first 2 minutes of the second half. The first came, Harris's second goal came 13 seconds into the second half. That was the key. And since that time, the Vikes have been playing keep away. They'll have a throw in here. 16 minutes to go. 16 minutes away from Florida. This one up the left side. Let's see. Driscoll's going to keep it in with the left foot and sends it. This one in front of the Mustang bench, and Mustangs try to keep it in, but they can't do so. So a throw in for Valley to Driscoll. That ball goes across the touchline. That'll be a throw in for the Mustangs. 15 and a half minutes now. Mustangs threw it in, but I believe it's going to be a Viking throw in. Heeman will do that. And come the Vikings on the attack. Shot gets through by Alcaraz, but no problem for Seifert. With all the NEI sports going on, also have volleyball being played today at different sites, and two Heart of America Conference teams involved there as well in women's volleyball. Mid-America Nazarene and Evangel. Vikings play a little keep away here. Trying to get it to Bonet. Emzolo can't come up with it. The Valley still with possession. And Bonet was offside. 14 minutes remaining in this one. Been a pretty clean game. Vikings have all the goals. Crowd all huddled up but enjoying this one. And there are a few fans here rooting for the Mustangs. A long trip from Cedar Rapids. They got here yesterday. I know they worked out on this field yesterday afternoon, about 4 o'clock or so. It was a relatively nice day yesterday. And then the rain and the snow and the winds came last night. Driscoll gives it off to Munar. Up the left side, here come the Vikings. Is Emzolo onside? No, I didn't think so. Emzolo is fast. He outran the defender. Of course, you have to keep yourself between the goal and 2 defenders, the goalie being one of those defenders, and he did not do that. Seifert sends it all the way down, and it goes all the way to ball cells. And now this one's sent out over the top of the Viking bench. So throw in for the Mustangs with 12:43 to go. You know, this Viking team now, they're starting to sense it that once again they're going to be, in all likelihood, heading to Florida. That's the 3rd or 4th straight year. They've had a couple of tough losses in opening round matches the last 2 years down there. One in penalty kicks and another one lost right at the end of the game. Here's Emzolo trying to keep it alive. Can't do it. But once again, the Vikings keeping the pressure on the Mustangs. Now here's a pass. That's going to be offside as Fichtner was well offside. Under 12 minutes now. And if you're the Mustangs, you're starting to get that feeling that we have a great season, but it's going to come to an end this afternoon. Those 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of the second half, boy, that just changed the entire complexity of this game. It was a 1-0. The Mustangs were going to have this strong breeze at their back the entire second half. And then 13 seconds in, Vikings scored. Less than 2 minutes later, they score again. And with 11 minutes to go, that probably is enough. Battle for possession in the Viking end. Raul Benet with it. And he will send it over to the left side and give it there to Driscoll. Driscoll with some nice footwork. Brings it in the left side, keeps it alive. He'll send it toward the center, but it's picked up there by Seifert. 10.5 to go. Driscoll at midfield. I mentioned all the other sports going on. How about women's volleyball today? Two teams in the Heart of America Conference. Evangel hosting Our Lady of the Lake, Texas today, and Ottawa, Kansas, not a Hart school, but Ottawa, Kansas at Wayland Baptist, and Union, Kentucky at Mid-American Nazarene in Olathe today. December 1st through the 5th, winners head on to Sioux City, Iowa, to the Tyson Center. Here's what goes by across the goal line. Out. Under 10 minutes to go. So Missouri Valley Vikings, it appears, are on their way to the second round of the national tournament. Certainly congratulations to them. Mount Mercy will end the year, it appears, 15-5-1, an excellent year. The second time since when? 2010, I believe the Mustangs have been in the national tournament. The Vikings going again, seventh time. And they're going to head on to Florida, it appears, with a 18-2-1 record. Not bad. 2 goals today by Juan Carlos Harris, the other by Amzolo. And with 8:42 to go, the Vikes looking pretty good. And Balsell's working on yet another shutout. He's only given up 1 goal, or 2 goals, in his 5 starts. This being his 6th, so that would be quite an accomplishment for him as well. .819 and counting. They'll send this one in front. It's headed away. The Mustangs will keep it in the Viking zone, but not for long. That was sent out up the right side. 8 minutes left. 3-0 Vikings. Cold and windy, but there'll be some celebrated Vikings tonight. As they're going to head back to the national tournament. This one comes all the way back to Balcells. He'll handle it. Take his time. That was a low line drive kick, gets it to midfield. Vikes 2-on-2. And foul is going to be called. Viking possession, or rather on the Vikings, so possession to the Mustangs. But they are running out of time in a hurry. .651 left. As in for the Mustangs is Moody, Manuel Moody, number 4. I haven't called his name many times today. 6:14 left. As the Mustangs have possession. Again, pretty much realizing that they have their season's going to come to an end. It, again, has been a good season. Ball in the Mustang end with 5.5 minutes remaining. Trying to catch some other scores here. Ooh, Ball Cells is down right in, almost in front of the 18-yard box. Wow. Score with 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Grayson leads Missouri Valley College women in basketball 29-27 today. Ball Cells is down. We see on our replay that there was a collision. He went to kick it as he kicked it away at the top of the 18-yard box. There was contact with one of the Mustangs, and almost looked like in American football when a punter goes up to punt the ball and there's roughing the kicker. Same kind of play as he was up in the air, he was hit, and it was not a intentional. It was just that the Mustang was going after the ball. It was about the time that he was going to kick it away. Understand in football, Baker leads Point Georgia in the third quarter, 33-14. So the Wildcats feel to be on their way to a win. And again, we heard that Grandview was winning their football game. So it looks like Baker's going to move on with a win at home. Congratulations if they do to Mike Grossner and his club. All right, we're down to the 5-minute mark. Ball Cells is back up in goal. Here comes Driscoll up the left side, and he'll send it to Bonet. Bonet has a shot at it, and that one goes high. Bonet coming from the right side. Good pass by Driscoll all the way across, and he got into that one, but sent it a little high, wide right. As Bonet came in, and he got the foot into that one, but it was wide right. 4:53. All the time that separates the Vikings from a trip to the beach in Florida for the second round of the NAIA National Men's Soccer Tournament. Four and a half. Drew Hawkins, Ivan Ninkov, the assistant coaches for Vladimir Simic. And we do have an injured player, and that is Luis Dervas, who is down with about 4 minutes, with 4 minutes to go. Dervas out of England. Let's see this Viking team. Ball Cells, the goalie's a freshman. Luke Russell's a junior. Fierro's a senior. Bonet's a senior. They'll miss him. Montesino's a freshman. Heeman's a sophomore. Ron Carlos Harris is a senior, so the two leading scorers are seniors. Nervos is a freshman. Munar's a senior. And Mark Campbell's a junior, so they have a pretty good nucleus coming back. I think Nervas is going to stay in there. 4:32 to go. Or is he going to stay in now? He may be coming out now. Oswaldo Noriega is coming in. And I think Sergio Garcia is going to check in just a couple of moments. So Vlad going to his bench here as the Vikings are about set to celebrate their trip to Florida and another big win. See if Balcells now could get a shutout. He's only given up 2 goals all year. They send this one in and he goes up to grab it. Now you may be able to hear the fans chanting down below to our right. They've stuck it out through this entire 2 hours in the cold and the wind, and they're about to get to celebrate. And again, congratulations to the Mustangs of Mount Mercy out of Cedar Rapids. Excellent season, and we welcome you to the conference next year. They'll end their season 15-5-1. They could not have been more gracious in helping get us information to prepare for this broadcast. The entire staff and coach. So we welcome them and look forward to making a trip to Cedar Rapids to see that campus in the next year or so. 3 minutes to go. But for the Vikings, they're closing in on another trip. Vikings will be 18-2-1. Heading to Florida. What a job by this team and by Vladimir Simic, as the Vikings are going to do it again. And they're going to move on. The Vikings are making their 6th straight appearance in the national tournament. They're 2-5 overall in the national tournament. In the 2014 tournament, they defeated Judson University here. You might remember that a year ago. 5-0. However, they lost in penalty kicks to University of Northwestern Ohio in the second round. So that was a tough one. And 2 years ago, they lost one late in the match. But this is going to be a win for the Vikes today, as they are 2 minutes and 26 seconds away from heading to the second round. They will be one of the 16 heading to Florida. And this will be their 18th win of the year. Send this one in. Balcells knocks it away. It's still loose. Now he dives and grabs it. He wants to preserve his shutout. He has given up, again, just 2 goals since he's been the starting goalkeeper. 2 minutes left. Low line drive gets past midfield. Driscoll tries to keep it in, but it does go across the touchline. So the throw to come for Falker Harson. Quickly up the right side, 1:48 to go now. Munar had it, lost it, foul. Vikings will have it, and they try to get into play, but with 1:36 and counting there, no hurry now. We appreciate you being with us for all the action today. Thanks to our IT department for getting things straightened out this morning on campus, so we were able to bring you the live stream, the video stream. And now the Vikings, as they send it up to Bonet. Raul with a nice move. Another nice move. Keeps the dribble alive. And this one rolls just wide left. Nice footwork by Bonet. And then he got it to George Limbert. And his left-footed kick just rolled by the left post. Under a minute to go now. As the Vikings are prepared, you won't have to take some of those winter coats off to hope to get to Florida, because that's where they're headed for the 3rd straight year. And we're down to 35 seconds. So congratulations to the Mustangs on a fine season, and certainly to the Vikings as they will continue. And this is onside. Vikes are going to get one last goal. And this one rolls in. It was onside, and it is Alcaraz. He had the winner in the double overtime against Baker with 35 seconds to go. This one not quite as dramatic, but he got by the defender. Seifert came out. That's all he could do. When he couldn't get to it, that would left the goal wide open, and Alcaraz tapped it in. It's 4-0. Well, that one not quite as dramatic as the last one he had. For Alcaraz, that is his third goal of the season. So 4-0, 23 seconds left. And the Mustangs with it with only 20 seconds remaining. Vikings get it back. So congratulations to Vlade Simic and this team. They're heading to the Nationals in Florida. And we're 13 seconds away. Now the countdown will begin as that goes across the touchline.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There it is. The Vikings win the first round of the national tournament as they knock off Mount Mercy out of Cedar Rapids 4-0. The key was, I think, those two goals in the first 2 minutes of the second half that just completely turned this game around. So, as the Vikings celebrate, Coach Vlade Simic all dressed up today, and deservedly so. He's done a wonderful job, and Mount Mercy with a good year comes to an end. The Vikings their 18th win as they will continue. 2 goals by Juan Carlos Harris and 1 goal today by Alcaraz. That made it 4-0. In between, Emzolo had a goal as well. 4-0. That'll do it. The Vikings head to Florida November 30th through December 5th for the national tournament. Chaz Maddie, Tyrone Ritter, and Alexis McMillian, our video crew, giving us all the fine pictures today. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast. 4-0 Vikings win, heading to the national tournament. I'm Ken Cuevas. So long from Greg Mitchell Field on the campus of Missouri Valley College in Marshall.